Joining us this evening, UH Manoa history professor Peter Hoffenberg. He's also an affiliated professor from the University of Haifa, Israel. Thank you for being with us, sir.
Thank you very much.
We'd like to talk tonight about the impact of the war on people with Israel and Mideast connections who are here in Hawaii. What are you feeling and what are you hearing from others?
Well, we're hearing a lot from both sides, right? We have Jewish students with families in Israel. We have non-Jewish students with families in Israel. We have Islamic and Muslim kids and families. So everybody is hearing a lot. There are two strands. I think there's a strand that everybody else is hearing on the news. And then everyone I know is on Facebook, making phone calls, texting, etc. And really the news is bad all around. I mean, it's a matter of regardless of your political position.
Thank you for sharing those observations. You know, peace in this region has always been so elusive, but as to recent peace and normalization efforts, the Abraham Accords, for instance, to what extent were these attacks a reaction to that? Mm-hmm. And do these types of efforts have a future to resume?
Okay. First of all, everybody recognizes the significance of the timing. The timing included Iran's attempt to undermine the Accords. And that's a long-standing competition, not just between Iran and Israel, but ever since the medieval period between the Iranians or Persians and the Saudis. And that's a long-standing competition. So you're absolutely right. That's part of it. Secondly, it is the anniversary of the Yom Kippur War. And Hamas wants to take on the mantle of the main thrusting force to remove Jews and Israelis from the region. So they're very cognizant of their own calendar. It was also, there's been a lot of discussion about security failure. I think non-Jews and non-Israelis need to be reminded that this was a holiday. This was the end of the holy days. One of the reasons all those innocent kids were dancing and enjoying nature was it was the end of a cycle. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Simchat Torah, where we read the entire Torah. So there are a lot of different reasons for that date. Certainly the Abraham Accords are part of it. We now know, though, that it's probably been planned for up to 2 years.
You mentioned young people, you know, in your previous answer. What was their mindset, our youngest generations, about the potential for a future peace, the potential for coexistence with Palestinians prior to this? And then fast forward to the significance of the massacre targeting them at the Youth and Music Festival. What impact does this have to the extent that any of these young future leaders had hopes for peace prospects? Does a whole generation get set back now?
Well, I would say this generation on all sides is more fatalistic about peace. All sides, young Palestinians, young Israelis, even before this. That it doesn't mean that they went out and supported a hawkish policy. A lot of them did not support Netanyahu, but as creating long-term, enduring peace, most people on both sides do not think that's going to happen, but did not think it was going to happen beforehand. So the question is more how you get a workable relationship, which is not constantly based on coercion and fear. The young people who are interested in peace, and there are some, please, and there are programs where kids go to school who are from different ethnic and religious groups. There's an organization called Hand in Hand, which has Druze, Christian, Islamic, and you know within the Islamic community, there's Shiites and Sunnis, and Jewish community, as we say, 2 Jews, 3 opinions. So there are always going to be a variety, but all of them collectively teach. And we're hoping that those non-governmental efforts, there's a village of peace started by Jews and Muslims, those all exist. The question is, though, you know, those exist as isolated examples, and it would take a whole generation to push those forward to become normal. I would say we need to get through this horrible period and then decide on its lasting impact. If I were a realist, though, it'd be really hard to get the young people on either side to get back on board.
What a horrible situation that they're in.
Yes.
Any closing thoughts for our viewers here in Hawaii? How can their awareness of the issues and their advocacy for whatever needs to happen next make a difference even from all the way out here?
I think it does make a difference because probably you're in class or in line at Costco with somebody who has some connection. the Hawaiian spirit is often to try to understand each side, but please note, and understanding isn't equalizing. So, for example, we understand the bombing of Gaza. It's not equivalent to beheading and raping. It's just not. So you can have a conversation, but I think we have to be clear about the moral hierarchy. I think also Hawaiians in general, including Christian Hawaiians who look at Israel as a promised land, you got to step back. This is not our land. It's not Christians' land right now. It's Israeli Jews and Muslims and Palestinians' land, and they have to be respected for those goals, not to be used for something else. And I also think if people are interested in making financial contributions across the board, the Muslim Arabic Red Cross, the Red Crescent, they need help. Magan Adon, the Israeli. So there are ways for people in Hawaii to help out. Probably also when you're discussing this to turn down the heat, and because the overly excited conversation is not really going to get us anywhere.
Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much for giving up that
Of
depth
course.
of perspective and expertise. We appreciate you joining us. Aloha.
Thank you very much. Aloha.